Hello everyone, today's video is a bit different. As someone who is learning cooking, I'm used to measuring ingredients, but nothing prepared me for measuring the cost of having a baby. In this video, I will be sharing how much it costs us to have a baby in Singapore from the first trimester checkup all the way to the labor and delivery. Before I get into the numbers, here's a bit of context about our journey. This was our first time becoming parents, so everything was new. And like most first-time parents in Singapore, we played it very safe. We said yes to most of the optional checkouts and to whatever tests the doctor suggested, even when we had no idea what they were for. My wife and I are both Singaporeans, so we were eligible for subsidies and GST absorption at public hospital. And we could also tap into our Medisave to help cover part of the delivery costs. So let's start with the first trimester. We decided to go with KKH, a public hospital, for our first few appointments. The bill was super friendly, which was great, and the waiting time honestly wasn't too bad. But the thing was that we were seeing a different doctor every visit, and each one had slightly different opinions, which left us a bit confused as first-time parents. We do know that KKH has a private option where you get to stick with the same doctor at a slightly higher price. But at that time, we didn't have any particular doctor in mind, so we just went with the regular public appointments. In total, we spent around 1.6k after government subsidy. But do note that we opt for NIPT, which costs more than half the bill. Just a quick sharing for those who might not have heard of NIPT before. Basically, during your antenatal visit, a nurse will explain a few optional tests you can choose from. Two common ones are the NIPT, non-invasive prenatal test, and FTS, the first trimester screening. Basically, both are prenatal screening tests that check for chromosome abnormalities, which can cause conditions like Down syndromes and Edwards syndromes. The main differences between these tests are cost, accuracy, and scope. NIPT is way more expensive, but it's very accurate with less than 1% false positive rate. And it can also tell you your baby's gender early on. FTS, on the other hand, is much more affordable, but it comes with a higher false positive rate. For us, that was a big concern because a false positive result would have caused unnecessary stress and anxiety, something we really wanted to avoid. For our case, we decided to go for NIPT. We do not mind spending more money to have an ease of mind, and also we were also very excited to know the baby's gender. Now moving on to the second and third trimesters, we were recommended to a private gynae by a close friend who just had a baby. The clinic fees were very transparent and affordable for a private clinic. There were no surprises, and to top it off, they do not charge GST. Despite the price, the doctor was very experienced and skillful. And honestly, choosing him was one of the best decisions we made during this whole pregnancy journey. In total, we only spent around 1.9k for all the consultation, tests, and supplements. If you're interested to know more about our gynae, I've left his Google link in the description. And now for the finale, the delivery. We decided to have our baby at Mount Alvernia Hospital after joining their maternity tour. The maternity block had just been newly constructed about a year ago, and the prices were within our budget. For our case, we went with the most basic standard single room, and thankfully my wife's pregnancy was smooth. No major complication. She had an assisted delivery with epidural, which went well overall, and we only had to stay for 2 days. With this, our total hospital charges came out to about 4.2k, and the charges from our doctor's fee added up to around 5.3k. So the total bill came out to about $9,500, but the good news is a portion of that was claimable through Medisave, which meant that we only had to use cash for half the bill. In summary, we spent a total of around $13,000 from the first trimester all the way to delivery. Every pregnancy journey is different, and so is every bill. If you have gone through this journey, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment and let me know how much you spent for yours. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe and share it with your friends. See you in the next one. Thank you for watching.